Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Saida Kashvedara. I am the management head at Mental Health Iman Foundation. Thank you so much कि आपने हमारा webinar join किया. So आज की speaker is Miss Aisha Irfan, and tonight's webinar is about social anxiety and how to manage that. Now, before we start the webinar, I'm just going to give you a brief introduction on Mental Health Iman Foundation. So it was founded in 2022 by our visionary CEO, Miss Iman Shehzadi. She's a clinical psychologist. And basically, what she wants is to help people in the name of humanity. So we provide pro bono services and donations and stuff like that to people in need. So we have four main departments. Our first department is the clinical department, where we have clinical psychologists on the roster. We provide free services to people who cannot afford it. We also have a social media department, which is basically our presence online which is basically our presence online. We have awareness posts and we're pretty active on our social media, so please go follow. We also have our education department, जिसके अंदर webinars होते हैं, workshops होती हैं. This is also part of our education department, tonight's webinar, because we want to spread awareness as well as help people. And we also have an up and coming donations department through which we would like to help people in need, whatever they need. That is still up and coming. So like I said, tonight's speaker is Miss Aisha Irfan. She's very talented and she's very experienced, and she's a psychologist and she's doing her MPhil currently. And so she is going to be telling you about social media and social media, social anxiety, and how to my bad, social anxiety, how to manage it. And it's going to be an interactive session, so please do interact with her. In the end, we are going to open the floor for questions and answers. So आप अपने questions chat में भी लिख सकते हैं, just keep writing them down as we go. And this will be a 40-minute session, so you will have to rejoin the link after 40 minutes. So I'll let everyone know when you have to rejoin. So without further ado, I'm just going to give it to Ms. Aisha. Thank you so much for being here, Ms. Aisha.
You're welcome. Hello, everybody. I'm Aisha, and most of the introduction has been given by Ms. Kashyap. Thank you so much for that, Ms. Kashyap. Well, I'm a psychologist and a life coach and a CPT coach, and I'm so happy to be here and share my knowledge with you. So, let's start. Kashyap, is my screen like, is it visible?
Not at the moment. We'll wait until it is. It's not visible to me.
I have requested to
No,
take
yes, I have given you the access. There you go.
Okay, now?
Yes, now it's loading. Yes, there you go. I can see it now.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
start.
let's start, everyone. So today's topic is understanding social anxiety, and we'll be discussing particularly about social anxiety disorder, and I'll be telling you what it is and how we can manage it. So, social anxiety disorder is an intense fear of being in public or in other areas where you have to be present around people. So, but first, I'd like to differentiate between social anxiety and social anxiety disorder. So, social anxiety is common. मतलब it's not necessarily a disorder. Sometimes when, for example, we are going to present in a classroom or in an office setting, तो थोड़ी बहुत nervousness हो जाती है, which is normal. But when it is a disorder, that affects your life overall, like your relationships, your daily routine, your work life, or your student life. Okay. So let's do a short activity. It's very interesting, and I want you, whoever is going to participate, I want you to open your audio. Okay. So my first question to you guys is, what's your favorite dessert? Anyone can say it. Chalo, I'll start first. I really love cakes, especially chocolate cakes. So Anyone else?
Oreo ice cream.
Me
Okay, I
too.
like it too.
I'll take
Brownies.
Oh, that's great. And anyone else? Come on, everyone likes desserts. Who
Brownies.
doesn't? Sorry, what?
molten
Uh,
lava.
She said brownies.
Yes. Okay, all
Yeah.
right. Okay, and if you could have a superpower, what would it be? This is a super interesting question. So go ahead, answer. Come on, who doesn't want a superpower? That would be great.
Flying, maybe.
Uh, what? Sorry, I couldn't hear
Fly,
you. Flying.
like flying, probably.
Okay, but
a
can
lot
you
of
tell me the
confidence.
reason why you wanna fly?
I don't know. It'll probably look nice from up there. Everything will look prettier or something.
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, if you're in an airplane and जब हम take off कर रहे होते हैं, the city lights, they look so pretty. So I guess I understand your
I would
point of
not
view.
want to be in an airplane. That
And
sounds scary.
okay, I'm sorry about that. I hope today's session can help you overcome that fear. And you all, what's your favorite movie?
Three Idiots.
Three Idiots. I love that
It's
movie
me.
too. And my favorite movies, well, I love horror movies. So any horror movie, it's my favorite. And anyone else?
Everything everywhere all at once.
The School for Good and Evil.
Uh, what, Anuj? What did you say?
The School for Good and Evil.
Oh, I've never seen it. Do mention in the chat. You guys can mention your favorite movies in the chat. I mean, we all can benefit from that. And this one is a well, very controversial question. Can anyone share an unpopular opinion? Anyone at all? I'll share mine. I'm sorry, this might uh, offend some of you, but I guess Billie Eilish is overrated. If anyone listens to Billie Eilish, I'm so sorry, but I feel like she's overrated. Anyone else?
I've forgotten every single unpopular opinion I have. I have a lot, but now I'm like, I've never had one in my
Uh,
life. I don't know.
really? Uh,
I
why
have,
don't you?
I have a lot. I just can't remember now that you asked.
Because I put you in the spotlight?
Yeah.
It's okay. And Anush, you're very right. Money can buy happiness. I agree with you. And I'm so sorry. Someone said no, I think, on the Billie Eilish unpopular opinion, if I'm not wrong. But again, I'm sorry. Anyway, how about an advice for the audience? It could be any advice at all. Guys, anyone? And I mean, how about a psychologist could speak, but I would love कि कोई
I,
और भी बोले.
I have one.
Yes, Kasha?
If if anybody here is under the age of 24, you are going to be okay. You're gonna be fine. Because I work with young adults and my God, you're gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. You're good. सब ठीक हो
Okay,
जाएगा.
that's a very, very sweet advice. Anyone else? Amna, I would like you all to speak up. because the purpose of this activity is because so many people are here, I want कि थोड़ी बहुत अगर किसी में anxiety है तो वो अभी खत्म हो जाए. So how about you guys could speak?
Does
I
it have
wanted
to
to
be
say,
like a mental health advice, or can it be just any advice?
It could be any advice, not necessarily on mental health, anything at all.
Okay, my advice is कि बहादुर बन के ठंडे पानी से ना नहाए, बीमार हो जाएंगे. Because I got sick.
Oh, I can understand. Which
that's the
city do
right
you
one.
live in? Yes, Sana?
I think it's the right one. It's very good, right? I want to share here one more thing that we have to have time for ourselves. Right? Just like the way
We
we are
can't
doing.
hear you. आपकी आवाज बहुत दब के आ रही है और कट भी रही है.
Sana, please put it in the chat.
Yes, you can put
Yeah.
it in the chat. It's okay. Okay.
I have another one. I just thought of one.
Yes, Kashyap. Go
Again,
ahead.
I think mine are very geared towards young adults. But never lower your standards for anybody. No matter who they are. Don't lower your standards and don't like lower your boundaries for anybody. Don't break your boundaries for anybody. Nobody is worth it in the long run. And again, it goes back to if you're under the age of 24, you're gonna be fine. You're okay.
Okay.
कुछ नहीं
And do you
होगा.
have any advice for people older
Over.
than 24?
Um. Oh yes, I do actually. If you feel like you are outgrowing your interests, and if you feel like you are too old for things you used to enjoy, you are never too old to enjoy what you used to.
Uh-huh.
You are never too old to be cringe. Be cringe. It's fine.
Oh, I needed that advice. Trust me.
Use
Anyway, let's. Yes, Kashyap, what?
nothing. I was just laughing. And Miss Sana has put it in the chat.
Okay. Miss Sana said, be kind to yourself. Well, yes, that applies to all of us. It doesn't matter what age. And Anush, you're right. Gen Z का आजकल बहुत ज़्यादा सब critical होते हैं उनको लेके. So yes, we'll try our best to understand, and we're open to understanding you, whoever belongs to Gen Z. Okay, moving forward. Wait a second. All right. So, what causes social anxiety disorder? Well, it's a mixture of so many things. Let's see what the biological factors are first. It can be in your genes, family history हो अगर anxiety की, and there's a neurological aspect to it. There's a part in our brain called the amygdala, and it's responsible for the fight or flight response. Say when we fear any situation, तो हमारा एक reaction होता है कि या तो हमने उसको face करना है or we run away from it. And that fight or flight response heightens during social anxiety. So that's that. And environmental factors there could be a traumatic social experience, like you might have been bullied or overly criticized. Or अगर हम family aspect पे आए तो it could be your parents are overcritical, they want you to be perfect. Or lack of social engagement, you don't go out much, you prefer staying at home because you feel anxious in public. And cognitive patterns, they are related to your thoughts. You might be afraid of negative evaluation or judgment. मतलब कि you might think कि if you're going outside कि how do I look? Do I look okay? Yeah, am I wearing a good dress? Stuff like that, little stuff like that जो common होता है, which might not disturb other people, हम उसे exaggerate कर देते हैं. And there's this thing, perfectionism, self-doubt. आप अपने आप से unrealistic expectations रखते हैं, like if there's an office meeting you might get socially anxious because you might think pata nahi, how would I perform, what if I say the wrong thing, and what if my body language is not okay. So ये सारे जो thought patterns हैं ये आते हैं. And there are circumstantial triggers where जब आप किसी situation में होते हैं, like you're afraid of public speaking or job interviews, or you avoid large gatherings, and you are not able to adjust alone in a social situation. Like a person with this disorder, they cannot go alone at a mall or at a cafe. They would rather just stay at home. They would just, avoid any sort of social interaction. Okay, moving forward. So how does it manifest? कैसे सामने आता है ये? Well, there are physical symptoms. आपकी heart beat rapid हो सकती है. You might sweat. You might feel like vomiting or shivering. इस तरह की चीजें होती हैं. And you can spot them in an anxious person and in a socially anxious person. They might just be in the background, okay, and they would avoid eye contact. They would avoid initiating conversations. And in emotional symptoms, someone with social anxiety disorder, like I said, they feel like they would do or say something that might be embarrassing. So they're afraid of being awkward, or they're afraid of saying what's on their mind, and they fear the feelings of shame and sadness, and सबसे ज़्यादा they feel like they're going to be rejected anywhere. And इससे before I move towards the behavioral patterns, anyone over here emotionally कोई feel करता है कि they are going to embarrass themselves or they're going to be rejected? And if someone goes through these symptoms, कहाँ पे होता है ज़्यादातर ये? Like in which social situations would you say? Anyone? You can type it in the chat, it's okay, or you can speak up. No one's going to judge you. This is a judgment-free zone, and other people might be able to relate to you.
Can you repeat the question really quick? The question that you asked?
Yeah, sure. Is there any situation that you are afraid of getting yourself into, or you avoid it because you might feel like you're going to embarrass yourself?
Confrontation, arguments, just like especially if it's with like an authority figure.
Uh-huh.
Probably that.
Okay, so you're afraid of it?
Yeah, I don't like being in it. Like I think I handle it fine, but mm, like it makes me very, because I'm generally like, let me be very real. I'm a very anxious person myself, but like in a very generalized
Okay.
way. So all of
Uh-huh.
this sometimes. So with confrontation, yeah. So with confrontation, yes. Especially if it's with someone that is holding some sort of power over you, I guess.
Okay, okay. Well, same
Yeah.
here. I'm
Okay.
generally a very anxious person, but so I can relate to you, Kashaf. And someone raised their hands. Please go ahead.
Public speaking. And I'm a lecturer, so I'm fine with that. But whenever I have to talk into a mic, then I get really nervous. I try to avoid it at all costs.
But like I'd like to ask you, okay, what's the difference? Can you explain it between using a mic and not using a mic during lectures? Like, what do you fear कि mic पकड़ के अगर मैंने बोला तो क्या हो जाएगा?
I usually have to, whenever there's a mic involved, it's like more people. And when I'm in classes, it's my students and I know them now, so I don't get nervous. But when there's a mic involved, usually I'm standing there on a stage and it's like just a lot of pressure. And I can hear my own nervousness. If my voice is like, अगर आवाज मेरी कांप रही हो मुझे वो सुनाई दे रहा होता है.
Oh, okay. Well, of course, you'd feel it in your body because you're anxious. And same, I cannot, for the life of me, be a lecturer and मुझे public speaking से I get anxious. Even right now in this webinar, even though I know so many people here, and that makes me feel better, but still मेरे अंदर anxiety होती है, even though no one can see me. And so I relate to you as well. And someone in the chat said कि मैं meetings and public speaking को avoid करता हूँ. Don't know why. Well, I guess you might be afraid of judgment. Um, just like you know, what would you be looking like? What would you be saying? What if you stutter? Maybe that's the reason. And Maheen says that she feels like she'll say too much in situations without thinking. That, I mean, that's a valid reason. ऐसा होता है. But it's okay. I guess दूसरे लोग भी बोल रहे होते हैं. So I guess, I mean, you never know. They might want you to be a part of the conversation. So maybe sometime you can just go ahead, try to state your opinions. Okay. And someone else said that interacting with people who talk behind your back. I can completely understand that because they judged you for some reason, and that never feels good. So I completely understand that, and I can relate with all of you. Trust me. Uh, okay. So let's talk about behavioral patterns. Someone who is socially anxious, they might avoid eye contact, like when they're talking to you, they might not look at you, they might just keep looking, at their surroundings, or they might just bow their head, वो नीचे देखेंगे. And या तो ओवरली प्रिपेयर होके जाएंगे, पहले से ही उनको एंजाइटी शुरू हो जाएगी कहीं जाने से पहले ही, about how they would behave, what they would say. And you can spot this in people. The reason why I'm saying it, if you really pay attention to people who are anxious, you can spot some things in their behavior or the way they talk. They might be very jittery, या वो stutter करेंगे. They might have a shaky voice, yeah, they're not loud enough. So if you come across such people, go ahead and listen to them. Even if you're in a group of people, उनकी बात सुने और उन्हें encourage करेंगे वो भी बोलें. And इसके अलावा people with social anxiety disorder, they might want to leave or escape. They might cancel plans with their friends or family. उनको जाना ही नहीं होगा, और अगर वो कहीं जाते हैं, they would want to leave as soon as they can, because they just cannot be around a lot of people, and they can be overly sensitive to their surroundings. Okay. Uh, Moving forward. I don't know why. Uh, okay. So how does this affect your life? Since it's a social anxiety disorder, like I said, it's different from social anxiety. Social anxiety disorder will affect all areas of your life, like your personal relationships. You will avoid going to family functions or even meeting friends. Agar they want to meet you outside, you would probably say no. And I guess you would rather have them come over to your house so that you don't have to mingle with a lot of people. And career-wise, like people who are socially anxious, they might avoid networking. उन्हें कांटेक्ट नहीं रखना होगा किसी से. If they're at their office, they might seem withdrawn. इंटरव्यूज के दौरान they might be very anxious. वो आंसर नहीं कर पाते ठीक से, and they keep like उनका ध्यान नहीं होता usually. They might उनके स्पीच में लैगिंग आ सकती है, like or they might just say I don't know. So this is something for people who are hiring. Please इस चीज़ का ज़रूर ख्याल रखें. If someone is coming for an interview, make sure that they're comfortable. And people who are socially anxious, they might miss classes at school or college. या अगर वो classes में आ भी रहे हैं, they wouldn't want to be a part of a presentation. They wouldn't be want to participate in a discussion. They wouldn't raise their hands if a teacher or a professor asked them something. So we should be careful in a classroom setting and encourage such a person to speak up. And इसके अलावा people, because socially anxious people, they tend to isolate themselves and they think that they're misfits. तो उन्हें लगेगा कि वो सोसाइटी में फिट नहीं हो सक रहे, उन्हें लगेगा that they're an outsider. So they might start to isolate themselves. They might not feel normal, जो हमारी सोसाइटी के स्टैंडर्ड्स के मुताबिक एक नॉर्मल का definition है. That you have to be social, you have to be presentable, and they might feel like they're not. So इसकी वजह से वो डिप्रेशन में चले जाते हैं because they tend to isolate themselves. And yes, substance abuse की तरफ भी जा सकते हैं because they're so much on edge all the time, so they would want to feel peaceful or tranquil. So they might resort towards taking drugs. And daily life may be like using public transport, they might avoid it. They might avoid having fun somewhere, going to a dinner, going to a restaurant, because it's a public place, so they might avoid it. Now I'd like to ask something to all of you. Do you guys have a friend or someone you know who has social anxiety, and have you ever done something for them to make them feel better?
So I'm the social anxiety friend. uh,
Okay.
so I don't, it's not the disorder, but for example, I don't like ordering food because I can't hear myself talk, and it makes me anxious. Anxious because like I can't hear my own thoughts क्योंकि मैं बहुत loud होता है कभी कभी ना. So
Okay.
my friends always order food for me. So like,
Oh, okay. Same here.
yeah, I'm like, I'm not doing this. And they're like, cool, we'll do it. एक दफा उन्होंने किया था, they were like, no, do it yourself. And I did, and it was fine. But, you know, most of the time, they do it for me. So that's nice.
Yeah, that's really nice of them, I guess. Or Kashyap, why don't you take it like one step at a time? Maybe like while sitting down, you can order something from a menu. You don't have to go up to a counter because that, I mean, I could relate to that because that scares me a lot. कि मैं
Yeah,
queue में लग के कुछ order करूं.
yeah.
So if like I started ordering for a menu and that makes me feel better. So why don't you try that?
Okay. Yeah.
That might help.
Mhm.
Anyone else?
I had this happened in my classes when my students were giving presentations last week.
Mm-hmm.
Noticed that when in the class who's like very very nervous and they would get stuck somewhere, everyone in the class would like clap for them, and then they would get it the time to collect themselves, and then they would get back to their presentation.
Oh, okay. That's great. So you have, I mean, you make sure that everyone feels safe. That's really good. And anyone else?
Also, just to interrupt very quickly, so I'm so sorry. We have 5 minutes
Mm.
left in this call. So people will have to rejoin the link. So hopefully the same link will work. If not, तो फिर मैं नया भेज दूंगी. But yes. So I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, sure. I'm looking at the time, so I know.
Okay.
Okay. Let's move forward. I don't know why my laptop is getting stuck for some reason. This is really weird. I don't know what to do. I'm so
Maybe
sorry, guys.
it's okay. Maybe like escape out of the presentation and then go back in. Something.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, scroll down manually.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
okay, got it. Thank you so much, Kashyap.
No problem.
Okay, so I just want to say that it's not all bleak. It's okay. I guess some of us here, we're going through it actively, but it can be managed. You could be kinder to yourself, you could seek therapy, और कुछ lifestyle changes होते हैं. So we can like whenever I'm gonna tell you guys about that, you all can get help, and it's okay. You can help yourself too, or you can talk to somebody. So let's see. Uh, so cognitive behavioral therapy, it helps a lot because it helps reframing your negative thoughts. Okay, and mostly ये चीज आपके ये this sort of therapy, it changes the way you think. It rewires your brain, and it would help replace the unrealistic thoughts towards realistic thoughts. And for example, like over here, I'm so sorry. We keep thinking that I might embarrass myself. You do not think about the positive aspect of going into like a social situation. You would always think about yourself in a negative way, that I will be judged, I will embarrass myself. But how about you think like, right now I am very anxious, but मैं अपने ज़हन में ये चीज़ repeat कर रही हूँ that I am helping you guys, I'm helping spread awareness. Someone or maybe all of you might benefit from this webinar. So, how about you believe in yourself and move forward? Take it step by step. And you can practice it by like you can keep a thought journal. आपके जो भी negative thoughts आ रहे हैं, you can replace them with an alternative thought that's going to benefit you. And always, especially for people who have anxiety, always stick to the facts. Always stick to the evidence. For example, if I'm going to a mall, मैं इस चीज़ को लेके बैठ जाऊं शायद कि फलां इंसान मुझे मेरी ड्रेसिंग पे सोच रहा होगा कि इसने कैसी ड्रेसिंग की हुई है, और द वे आई लुक, और द वे आई एम वेयरिंग माय हेयर. But what if that any person could think she looks nice, she's wearing a nice dress. So, and plus, you never know what other people are thinking about you. And also, you cannot stop people from having an opinion. अब वो भले ही negative हो, भले ही positive हो, you cannot know. So how
Miss
about
Aisha?
just, all right, so, um, anyone here, can they share an alternative thought? अगर किसी को social anxiety है and you know they're thinking about other people's judgments or anything else at all, can anyone share their negative thought and replace it with an alternative thought?
A negative thought could be um this person, for example, okay, for social anxiety, so it could be like what you said. This person is staring at me because I'm dressed a certain way and nobody likes the way I dress and they're all looking at me. इसको reframe करने का ये तरीका हो सकता है कि maybe they weren't thinking about me at all and they're not looking at me. I just think they're looking at me. So I am comfortable in the way that I dress, and maybe and even if they don't like it, somebody else might. So it's okay. Something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And even if someone is looking at you, I guess uske fauran baad they're gonna forget. Like you might not even be, that important to them कि वो आपको याद रखें. People have all sorts of things going on around them and about them, so maybe they won't remember you at all. Uh, Anyone else?
I also always remind myself that nobody cares about me as much as I think they do. Even if I think they can tell I'm nervous, yeah, they can tell that I messed up here. So just say, like you said, I'm always like, they'll forget about it in like 5 minutes. And they won't go home thinking about it. I will probably be thinking about it, but कोई और वो सारे अपना काम कर रहे होंगे जो भी उनके काम है जो भी चीजें उनकी परेशानी है उसके बारे में सोच रहे होंगे.
And also one more thing to add to Miss Sissy. Um, I always remind the people that I counsel that even if they don't forget about it, even if they talk about it for like 2 days, remind yourself realistically and come up with a list of reasons why that affects you. And then work on that.
Exactly.
Let's
Yes,
work on
that would
that
help
as
a
well.
lot. And it's, the thing about anxiety, up like we just think about things, like we magnify all the situations, and that is what's like so scary कि इतनी बड़ी बात भी नहीं होगी, but हम उसको उस चीज से इतना डर जाएंगे that we can't handle it. So it's not just social anxiety. किसी भी तरह का anxiety disorder हो, we tend to over magnify things. And in this webinar, सारी लड़कियां ही बोल रही हैं. How about someone like a guy, maybe? Go ahead. I mean, लड़कों को भी social anxiety होती है. I'm very well aware of that. So, would anyone like to share anything? Hello. You can say it in the chats. Um, okay. Well, if anyone at any point wants to share anything, guys, you can. Okay. So let's move forward. Okay. So exposure therapy एंजाइटी में बहुत काम आती है. Just like मैंने मिस कश्यप को ये कहा था कि how about you start small. It helps a lot. And until and unless you expose yourself, until and unless you face your fears, anxiety um, इतनी आसानी से नहीं जा सकती. For example, this is what I did and it helped me कि if I'm at a public place, so if I like something about someone, I would compliment them. Like if I like their shoes, I would say nice shoes. Or the way they're wearing their makeup, I would compliment them. So you can just compliment people and that would help, and it would make their day too. And you can just smile at a stranger. That helps too. And how you can practice it is that you can create like levels, hierarchies of your social fears. For example, start with the least intimidating and you can work up. Like, for example, if you're at your home or you're having anxiety about calling a friend, you can start by texting. You can communicate to them that, can I call you? Is it okay if I call you? Or you can just communicate it to them. Okay, listen, I feel anxious while calling you. And they might help you out. And then maybe you could, have them over to your house. And once you get comfortable, you can go ahead and go out with them to a less intimidating public place, like जहाँ पे ज़्यादा लोग ना हो. And gradually you can, step up. And let's talk about mindfulness. Deep breathing is very important in anxiety because I guess सबसे पहला symptom होता है कि बहुत ज़्यादा rapid heartbeat हो जाती है हमारी. So if you take long deep breaths wherever you are या किसी social situation में enter होने से पहले अगर आप deep breathing कर लें, that really helps. That, it grounds you. Before entering a social situations, you come into the present. So here's an example. It's very easy. What you have to do is you inhale for 4 seconds and you hold for 4 seconds and gradually let it go within 6 seconds. And what really helps is like use your stomach while you're breathing in. Like अगर आप अपना gut को शामिल करेंगे इस चीज में, because it affects your gut, it would really help. Like deep breath लेते हुए just do it through your stomach and it will really help you calm down. And इसके अलावा this grounding exercise really helps. I did it, I still do it. If you're at a social situation या उससे पहले भी, what you can do is you can identify 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, feel the texture of if you're holding something like a purse. Yeah, you can start rubbing your clothes. So कोई texture हो, hold on to it, gradually rub it, discreetly rub it, and just try to focus on what you're hearing around you. You can focus on one particular sound or you can focus on multiple sounds. It depends. And how about like whatever you have around, try to smell it. If you have, like if you're wearing a perfume, you can smell that, and anything that is in front of you that you can smell it, you can reach out, go ahead. And also, this is really important while you're eating something, or if you're feeling anxious and you want to eat, because ऐसा होता है कि anxiety में, because we're feeling nauseous or something like that, हम खाना avoid करते हैं, हमसे खाया ही नहीं जाता. So how about you just take a bite and really savor it, like feel its texture, feel its taste, chew slowly. So that would like bring you to the present. And is there anyone who has done anything like this? It doesn't have to really be mindfulness. Anything in a social situation or before entering a social situation, have you done anything to calm yourself? Please share something. I mean, I would benefit it, from it too. It would help me too, and it would help a lot of people. So speak up. I really want you guys to participate. This can help a lot of people. I will call out random names if you guys don't speak.
Anush raised her hand.
Go ahead, Anush.
So I would like to like imagine what it would be like to before going into that situation, what it would be like to be in that situation. So that really helps me when I am actually in the situation, because I have already my body already reacted to the what it would be like, so I don't feel as much as anxiety as I feel normally.
Okay, Anush, can you be more specific? Like, can you, paint a picture? Tell us about a situation जिसमें आपने किया हो.
So but so actually I have a like presentation coming up and I'm in class. So next,
Mm-hmm.
I will be my turn. So while the other person is presenting, I'll be thinking about I am presenting. Actually, I'm visualizing presenting. So when that person is done and it's my turn, and when I go to the stage and I already feel less anxiety than I should be, because I've already envisioned myself in presenting in front of whole class.
Oh, okay, that's really great. I mean, यहाँ पे भी mention हुआ हुआ है कि um, uh, कहीं भी जाने से पहले you can envision yourself visually, you know, that's a really, really great way to be less anxious. And can anyone tell me कि किसी situation में जाके how did you control your anxiety?
Okay, so if I get like really anxious, like when I'm like public speaking में जैसे if I'm like really anxious and I know कि अब
Mm-hmm.
काफी मसला खराब हो गया है, तो फिर I just change my goal. फिर मेरा दूसरा गोल ये होता है कि अच्छा बिल्कुल परफेक्ट नहीं करना. I just have to get through this. I have to make sure कि मैं पूरी बात करके जाऊँ, मैं बीच में ना छोड़ के चले जाऊँ. अगर मुझे भूल भी रहा है, अगर मुझे even if I have to take a few seconds to collect myself. या फिर there's this one teacher who told me कि if you get really nervous, तो you can like जस्ट टेल योर सेल्फ कि मैं पानी पी सकती हूँ, मैं 2-4 सेकंड्स दे सकती हूँ. जस्ट हैविंग दैट कि इफ आई कैन एस्केप दिस सिचुएशन थोड़ी देर के लिए और फिर मैं वापस आ सकती हूँ, तो उससे भी थोड़ी तसल्ली मिल जाती है और आपको जरूरत नहीं पड़ती मोस्टली.
Oh, okay. I really like that. Okay, you know, take a breather, take a few seconds or a minute to yourself. That's actually a great advice. So thank you for that. It's very helpful even for me. That would be really great. And let's see what um, people in the chat are saying. Um, this is like someone said कि deep breathing से anxiety को manage करना, it really helps. And like Anuj said, some really great stuff. So thank you so much. And if anyone else wants to share anything, just go ahead. Okay, raise your hand. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. I don't know why this is happening. Okay. So lifestyle changes, exercise and healthy sleep habits. I guess ये बहुत कहा जाता है कि please like exercise in any mental illness, whether it's depression or anxiety. And a lot of therapists or even generally people say कि exercise करो, but I know it can sound like people are pressurizing you. Like ऐसी सोच आती है कि how would that help? But there is a science behind it. It would make you release all your excess energy. और अगर जब आप एक्सरसाइज करते हैं तो उससे कॉन्फिडेंस आता है. यू नो, आपके जहन में आपकी बॉडी इमेज एंड द वे यू लुक, it becomes better. I'm not saying that like people over here they look a certain way. I'm just saying that personally it boosts your confidence. Okay. And also you get tired. तो उससे एक तो स्ट्रेस रिलीज हो जाता है बॉडी से, एंड वो जो एक एंजाइटी बिल्डअप होता है दैट is released, and it's not necessary for you to go to the gym. You can just take a walk, भले ही 10 minutes के लिए, you know, for as long as you want, you can take a walk. या घर पे ही there are like so many videos on YouTube और इवन ऑन Pinterest. Pinterest पे बहुत अच्छा कंटेंट है related to health and exercise. So something that you could easily do at home. You know, you can go ahead and do that, and also sleep on time and avoid using your screen, because जब आप screens यूज कर रहे होते हैं and your, you know, जो भी content आप देख रहे हैं आपका दिमाग hyperactive होने लग जाता है. And there are some things that, you know, आप देख रहे हो and it's just going into your subconscious और आपको पता भी नहीं चलेगा that you'll get anxiety, that it's affecting you emotionally in any way. So avoid your screens. Even if अगर आप कुछ देख रहे हैं, screens use कर रहे हैं, you can look at something very calming, something that's not too flashy. Okay. And role playing helps a lot as well. Like, for example, before going to an interview, you can just role play कर लें किसी family member या friend के साथ, introduction दें, ask your friend to ask you questions that might be common in job interviews. So, like, taking a small step, just introducing yourself या किसी और social situation को लेके role play करेंगे, so it would already give you like it would give you feelings of contentment. You'll already feel prepared. So go ahead and do that. It feels great. And let's move forward. Okay. So let's fight a myth over here. काफी लोग psychiatric medication से दूर भागते हैं. उनको लगता है कि अगर उन्होंने एक दफा लेनी शुरू कर दी तो उन्हें हमेशा के लिए लेनी पड़ेगी, बार बार डॉक्टर के पास जाना पड़ेगा. They're concerned about the dosage, they're concerned about how it would affect them. Well, that's not entirely true, because as you start to get better, your psychiatrist would slowly taper them off. It could take some time. It's a work in progress. But it really helps, especially जब आप उसको therapy के साथ ले रहे होते हैं, because therapy works on your thoughts, works on your beliefs, works on your emotions. लेकिन जो psychiatric medication है, they work on your biology. Because usually in disorders, जैसे ये disorder है या someone has major depressive disorder, यहाँ पे you have to have a normal levels of neurotransmitters. And for example, when a person is depressed, they have to have normal levels of serotonin, and therapy alone cannot do that. And sometimes you need medication for anxiety so that you could calm yourself for a long period of time. और जब आप उसके साथ therapy भी ले रहे होंगे, it's magical. It would work wonders for you. So please know that you don't have to be afraid. If you're really suffering, if it's affecting your daily life, हर aspect को, अगर आपका कोई भी illness है, anxiety or whatever, you have to visit a psychiatrist. Okay? Because not only you're hurting yourself by suffering silently, you might end up hurting others. And nobody wants that. So please don't be afraid to go to a psychiatrist. Okay. Um, so does anyone else, before we move to this exercise, छोटी सी exercise है where you can ground yourself, because मैं इतनी देर से बोले जा रही हूँ. So, I would need rest, you guys might need rest. But before I move forward, any advice related to social anxiety someone has? Anyone who wants to, like bust a myth? कोई अगर myth है related to this particular mental illness?
Myths related to social anxiety?
Yes.
That there's this myth that people are just shy and they just need to step outside their comfort zone, which is not that easy to do.
Yes, that's true. Exactly. Like we were discussing about observing people, like if someone appears to be shy or withdrawn, तो उनको include जरूर करना चाहिए. So, that would give them confidence to speak up. And anyone else? Anyone in the chat? Anyone at all? Just like one more advice.
I think
Um,
what I want to add to this is कि like sometimes we're so like scared of being embarrassed, like in like कुछ भी नहीं होता, you know. There's sometimes in life you will embarrass yourself and it's fine. Like उसके बाद there will be a lot of times जब आप नहीं भी embarrassed होगे and you will learn something from that.
exactly. That's so true. That's exactly what I'm doing. So I needed to hear that. So thank you so much. Okay. So let's take a breath. And before you guys could start asking questions, or do you have any like can you give me a suggestion like पहले मैं आप लोगों के questions लूँ उसके बाद ये करवाऊँ, or do you guys need to rest? Um, anyone at all?
I think हम activity कर लेते हैं उसके बाद फिर questions रख लेते हैं.
So we have about, I think, 20 minutes left in the call. So I think we can do the short activity and then we can do questions. अभी time है call. So I think we can.
Okay, so let's do this. Well, I want you all to sit comfortably, or you could lie on your back, whatever you're good with. Okay? Make sure each and every part of your body is let loose. Be comfortable. Let go of your jaw. Feel your forehead. If you think your eyebrows are drawn upwards, bring them to the normal level. Loosen your face. Let go of your hands. Put them on your lap, or you can put them on your sides. Just rest. Relax. Okay. So let's take a deep breath. Let's inhale deeply through the nose for 4 counts. Do it with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you're inhaling through your gut and exhaling through your nose. Let's do it one more time. Let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. And slowly exhale in 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for the last time, breathe in for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now I want you all to engage your senses and focus on one at a time. All right? Close your eyes. If they're not closed already, close them. And picture one thing you love to look at. It could be a favorite place. It could be someone, like you really like looking at, or it could be a memory. Anything you love to look at, just picture it. Now, feel the sensation of your body. If you're lying on a bed, just let your weight into the bed, into your mattress, like as if your bed is hugging you. And if you're on a chair, just feel its texture. If it's an armrest, just lightly brush your fingers on it, or you can just keep your fingers and feel them whatever material there is. And feel your feet, slowly let go of your feet. You have nowhere to go, nothing to attend to, so why not just relax your feet? Now, listen for any sounds in the room or from outside. Maybe it's your breath. It could be the hum of a fan, or distant traffic. It could be a person you could hear, anything you could hear. Just concentrate on that. Now, smell. Notice any scents around you. It could be just fresh air. It could be any scent, a perfume. If there is no smell that could be noticed, you can focus on the neutral quality of the air as you breathe. So whatever air you're breathing, just make sure that you're involving your sense of smell. Okay. Now taste. Pay attention to the taste in your mouth. Is there a lingering flavor or just a neutral sensation? Make sure you can feel it, you can taste it. Swallow it. Just take your time and relax. Okay, now let's reflect. Let's take a deep breath. Breathe in for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let go in 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now gently open your eyes. Very slowly open your eyes. As if you're adjusting your eyes just to your surroundings. Open them very slowly. And now, once you've opened your eyes, stretch. Like stretch your fingers. Stretch your toes. Roll your shoulders clockwise and anti-clockwise. Move your head from side to side, from left to right. Let go of your body. Let go of any stress on your shoulders. Just let it go. It's safe. You are safe. Everyone done? Okay. So the
Yes.
purpose of this activity was to remind you all that it's a simple practice you can do to connect with yourself, because we spend most of our days around people, especially if you're working, या अगर हम अपनी family में we are dealing with all sorts of issues. So this could be used to connect with yourself and to be gentle with yourself, kinder with yourself. Okay. I hope you are all relaxed, and let's take some questions. Does anyone have any question?
We are opening the floor to questions now. So there's about 6 minutes left in this call, so we have plenty of time. So Anush raised her hand. Please ask.
Yes, Anush, go ahead.
So I have a question. Like you mentioned about journaling in CBT therapy. So as a
Mm-hmm.
psychologist, how much do you think journaling helps in mental health overall? And secondly, like, what should we write according to you in a journal? Because, like, I have been journaling for like 1.5 year, but genuinely, honestly, I don't feel like a connection. I just like write just as a like just to complete my to-do list, but I don't feel a personal connection. And like others, like I have seen many people on social media, they feel connection. So I was just asking about this.
Okay, Anush, that's a great question. Well, journaling really works if you treat it as like कि आप अपने अंदर की भड़ास निकाल रहे हैं. You don't have to make sense of what you're writing. Just write whatever comes to your mind. Okay, you can just start doodling. You can just start drawing lines. और जो आ रहा है वो लिखें. Doesn't matter how it starts, because usually we are thinking too much before writing down our thoughts कि मैं कैसे शुरू करूँ, कहाँ से शुरू करूँ. So how about you just start writing? And also something that I recently found out, मुझे खुद नहीं पता था ये चीज़, that there are shadow work questions you can find on the internet. Shadow work means कि आप अपने आप से ही सवाल कर रहे हैं. You're self reflecting to a very deep level. So how about you try shadow work? You can find a lot of questions online, but it can get very emotional. So I'm giving a trigger warning to all of you अगर आप लोग shadow work करने लगे हैं. So just remember that it can become very sensitive. But it really helps in self-acceptance, in self-awareness. You might feel overwhelmed with your emotions, but आपको पता चल जाएगा कि मैं अगर ये emotion feel कर रही हूँ या कर रहा हूँ तो क्यों, उसकी वजह क्या है, and then you could work on it. So I hope, Anush, I've answered your question. Okay, anyone else?
Yes, we have about 3 minutes in the call. So if anybody has any questions, please ask now. So we might have to refresh the link again. But if not, then we can wrap the session up.
Any guy who would like to speak? अगर
Anyone else?
एक दो लड़के भी हैं, किसी ने कुछ नहीं बोला, एक दफा बस किसी ने कुछ बोला था. You guys can speak up. Whatever's on your mind. Any question, anything. Just write it down or say it.
Miss Sasi is saying that she's too relaxed after the activity to think of any question.
Oh, that's great. Okay, mission accomplished.
Okay, so I think we can wrap the session up then, if nobody has any questions.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So thank you so much, Natasha. This was genuinely very, very well helpful, and I'm also very, very relaxed now. मुझे भी नींद आ रही है. So thank you so much. So it was very, very insightful, and I hope that you can do more webinars with us in the future.
Of course, I'd love to, and I'm just so glad कि इतने लोगों ने participate किया. I really love that. It helped me with my anxiety. So thank you for everyone for being here, and it was my pleasure. I had so much fun.
I also had so much fun. It was very, very, very engaging, very helpful.
Okay, thanks,
So
Kashyap.
no problem. So thank you so much. We will have another webinar most probably next Sunday. So I hope everyone can join again. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one then. Thank you so much.
Okay, guys. See you. Take care.
Miss Anush, please inbox Miss Amen or me. And yes, I will get the details to you. Okay. Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.